Hello students. Today let's see real numbers. There are many type of numbers that comes under real numbers. One is natural number. Natural number means the number used for counting. So counting numbers we call it as natural numbers. What are the numbers we use for counting? We use 1 as counting number, 2 another counting number, 500 that also a counting number, maybe 2010 that also a counting number, etc. Any number that used for counting we call it as natural numbers. Another type of number is whole numbers. Whole numbers means 0 and natural numbers. So 0 and counting numbers we call it as whole numbers. So the example will be 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. So 0, 1, 2, etc. We can say that they are whole numbers. So 2, I can say 2 is a whole number as well as natural number. Then integers. Integers means whole number and its opposite or negative. And it's negative. So for example, so it will be what? 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. are whole numbers. Its negative means 0 doesn't have negative. 1, the negative of 1 is negative 1. Negative of 2 is negative 2. Negative 3, etc. So for example, if I say 2, 2 is an integer, 2 is an whole number, 2 is a natural number. What about negative 3? Negative 3 is only integers. You understand? Let's see the next type, which is rational number. Rational number means any number that can be written in the form as a over b. Can be written as a over b, which means fraction. Written as a over b, where b is not equal to 0. Basically, this is what? Fraction. So any number, if you can write it as a fraction, we call it as rational number. So basically, fraction, decimal numbers, we can write it as fraction. Whole numbers, we can write it as fraction. Integer, we can write it as fraction. So these all we call it as rational number. So the examples are, okay, for example, fraction 2 over 3. This is a fraction. Decimal 0.5. We can write it as 1 over 2. We can convert it as a fraction. The fraction is 1 over 2. So it is again a rational number. For example, 50. It is a whole number. But we can write 50 as 50 over 1. So it became a fraction. So we can say whole number, whatever comes in whole number, that is also a rational number. Then integer. So say, let's see the negative of negative integers. So for example, negative 3. We can write this as negative 3 over 1. So this is again a fraction. So we can say it is a rational number. The next type of number is irrational number. Irrational number is very easy to understand. Why? Because though numbers that are non-repeating, non-terminating, we call it as irrational number. Non-repeating, non means not. Non-repeating, non-terminating, we call it as irrational number. So for example, square root 13. When you do this in calculator, you will get an endless number which doesn't follow a pattern. So we say that this is an irrational number. So basically, all the square root numbers which doesn't have a whole number answer, we call it as irrational number. For example, square root 26. You can say it is an irrational number. Other than square root numbers, the one is pi and another one is E. So these are basically rational numbers. Now let's see how it's easy to classify. Classifying is very easy in real numbers. So basically I was talking about natural number, then whole number, integer, rational, irrational. So let's make a Venn diagram to understand better and to identify easily. So let's ignore the natural number. We start with whole number. So let's see, this is my whole number. This is my whole number. Okay. The next one is integer. Because whole number and it's negative, we call it as integer. So whole number comes inside integer. So this is integer. Now, when I was talking about rational number, you saw that there is a whole number, integers coming inside rational number. So, we can draw a big circle or big rectangle to represent that. So, this is my rational number. Then there is irrational number which doesn't belongs to a rational number. So I write it here, irrational. So let's say this is the another box. These all we together call real number. So we can say this is all together we call it as real number. Now, when I give you a number to classify, go to this Venn diagram and find where this number belongs to, or identify the position of the number. So, for example, if I tell you square root 12, you know that this is not a perfect square number, so it belongs to a irrational number. So you can say square root 12 is irrational and real number. So whatever comes here, you need to go steps up. So irrational, real number. Now for example, I give you 12 over 4. When you look at this one, you feel that this is a fraction. But look close, you will find that 12 over 4 is equal to 3, which means this is a whole number. So you can say 12 over 4, where it will be? 12 over 4 is here. 12 over 4 will be here. If it belongs to whole, you can say this belongs to integer and this belongs to rational. That means this belongs to real number. So you can say 12 over 4 is a whole number, integer, rational and real. Now for example, if I give you the number, say negative 24. Negative 24 belongs to integer. So negative 24 will be here. If this is its integer, then it means it is rational, then it is real. So you can say negative 24 is integer, rational, real. I hope you understand how to classify real numbers as well as what are the type of real numbers. Thank you.